What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralta. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt. After not a good night, put us in quite the hole. So I was really chicken with the Padres. I should have hedged. I hedge. It's what I do. I like to minimize risk. But I thought there was going to be more offense in that game. With a total of 8, the Padres have been so bad in games 3 and 4 offensively. They scored 6 runs in the second inning, and then they didn't score again for the rest of the series. Like, that is crazy. I really thought game 5 the Padres would get after Yamamoto or the bullpen, and neither happened. I was waiting for a chance to jump in, and somebody correctly pointed it out on the Discord channel where I put it in there after the podcast launched last night. I had forgotten to talk about the Padres bet, and I said, look, I'm going to try to do something in-game. I'm not going to do it pre-game. He said, look, it's minus 140. If the Dodgers score first, that number is going to explode, and it did, and he was right. It exploded. I was wrong. So I didn't play that right. That was a mistake. That's on me. That's egg on my face. That's a miss. That's a unit loss there on my own issue. And I bet more than a unit. I lost significantly on that. That hurt bad last night. So that wasn't good. We only played officially for a unit, but I bet my futures for more than a unit. And I thought the Padres were going to be in the game. I thought they'd have a lead. I thought I'd have a chance to jump on the Dodgers, and I really thought we had a chance there. Didn't happen. 2-0 win for the Dodgers. They advanced to the NLCS, where they'll face the Mets. So I lost a unit there. UNLV was destroying Utah State. And then, look, this is a team that does not know how to play with the lead yet, okay? They're not going to go and take teams out. They had a monster lead. They won the game by 16 points. They're feeling great about themselves. They went on the road. They hung 50. But their defense gave up 34. We laid 18.5. So we lose because, well, they gave up a last-minute touchdown to Utah State. Look, sometimes the breaks go your way. Sometimes the breaks do not. And right now, the breaks in football are not going my way. That's just betting. Okay, that's just the way things go, unfortunately. So it's been a bad week. Not good at all. Arizona, Cam Rising is not healthy, not even a little bit. Cam Rising had no business playing in that game. Kyle Whittingham's a good coach. He's a really good coach. I know he's got a true freshman quarterback. I know the kid hasn't played well, but he has no trust in that kid whatsoever because Cam Rising couldn't throw. He couldn't throw. They turned the ball over a bunch of times. They had 5 trips to the red zone. They only got points on 1 of them. I mean, what? What a bad loss for Utah. That cross Utah off the list. Unless Cam Rising gets healthy in a hurry, that hand's a mess. He cannot put anything on a football, and he should not have been playing in that game. The interception he threw in the red zone was a lollipop. It was a simple interception. He's got no velocity. Bad handicap. I thought Cam Rising playing meant I'd see Cam Rising. We didn't see Cam Rising. That was a shell of himself. If I'm Utah, I think long and hard about playing him the rest of the season because that hand is a mess. Until he's healthy, you can't do it, but not good. So UNLV wins by 16. They don't cover. We lose 1.1 there. Utah loses the game outright, or at least they're losing by, it's 27-18 right now. I'm taping, so unless a miracle happens, they've lost. They're not covering 5.5. They didn't cover, and the Padres lose in Game 5 to the Dodgers. That's down 3.2 units, and we are down big for the week. So very difficult to have a winning week. Most likely this is going to be a losing week. So we will have gone winning week, losing week, winning week, losing week, which stinks. I hate when I can't string together winning weeks, but maybe, okay? But what this has done is caused me not to go as aggressively as I was going to go after it here on a Saturday, okay? I've got a ton of bets. I have bets, so I have like 14 bets today, okay? And after last night and after Thursday, I'm really scared as to what's going to happen. So I'm just going to give you 5 plays officially today. If you want the entire card of everything I will bet today on Saturday, you have to be on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, and come in for our live conversation, our live chat on the Discord. 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. I will give you everything that I have bet so far here today. The tickets are kind of crazy. There's a lot of bets, okay? I've made a lot of bets. So I don't know. I think it's 14. It might be 13. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of plays that I have made for the Saturday today, because I've been looking forward to this Saturday for so long. I'm so excited. So much football. So excited to get going, but it stinks when you're down 6 units for a week, and it sucks. So only 5 plays. I've already given you 2 of them. Okay, gave you West Virginia plus 3.5. I gave you Stanford plus 23.5. I will come in with 3 more plays for us here in just 1 second. But first, let me tell you about our friends at DraftKings and the Pick 6. Download, do it now for that new application from DraftKings. Use the code JUICE when you sign up. That's JUICE for new Pick 6 customers. You play $5, you get $50 in Pick 6 credits guaranteed when you use the code JUICE at sign up. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most jurisdictions, but other age and eligibility restrictions may apply. Valid only in jurisdictions where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including but not limited to New York, California, Ontario. For the up-to-the-minute list of jurisdictions, please visit pick6.available. Void where prohibited. 1 per new Pick 6 customer. $5 first pick set to receive $50 issued as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Ends 11/24/24 at midnight. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Being brought to you by DraftKings. Okay, 2 bets are already in. Let's talk about the BYU-Arizona game. There are 2 games I'm going to give you guys officially that are just by the numbers. The number's fishy. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm just going to go with it and not overthink it and say, you know what? BYU's at home. BYU is 5-0 straight up. BYU is 5-0 against the spread. BYU is 5-0 in the first half. BYU is taking on an Arizona team who's 1-4 ATS. They're 1-1 on the road. The one time they did cover was against Utah, and that was without Cam Rising. They beat New Mexico, didn't cover. They beat Northern Arizona, didn't cover. They lost to Kansas State by 24 as 7-point dogs, and they pushed. So I guess technically it's 1-3-1, depending on the number you got there. Against Texas Tech, they were laying 6. Oh, sorry. No. They were laying 6. They lost by 6. They weren't dogs. They were laying 6. They lost by 6. 1-4 ATS for Arizona. Now they're on the road into just a rocking atmosphere. This is a Big 12 game. Conference game. Why is this number only 3? I don't know. I don't know. It's wild. BYU is 5-0, like I mentioned. They won and covered against Southern Illinois. They won and covered against SMU. They won by 20 and covered by 10.5 against Wyoming. They won by 29 against Kansas State at home. They were 7.5-point dogs there. They covered by 36.5 points, and they won at Baylor. They won by 6 as 3-point dogs. BYU has been dogs 3 times. They've won the game outright. They've been favored 2 times. They've won the game and covered easily. Favored by 16.5 against Southern Illinois. They won by 28, covering by 11.5 points. Against Wyoming, they were laying 9.5 on the road. They won by 20, covering by 10.5 points. This is the first time that BYU will finally be favored at home in Provo, where you're going to have a rocking atmosphere. I'm laying the 3. Following the number, BYU goes to 6-0 straight up and 6-0 against the spread. BYU -3 for 1.1 units. Bet number 4, Cal is at Pitt. This number is 3. I got it at 3. I want it at 3, not 3.5. I want it at 3. Pitt is 5-0 straight up. Pitt is 5-0 against the spread. Pitt beat Kent State by 31 as 24-point favorites. They beat Cincinnati by 1 on the road as 1.5-point dogs. They beat West Virginia by 4 as 1.5-point dogs at home. They won by 56 against Youngstown State, laying 27.5, and they beat North Carolina, laying 2.5, their first ever win down at North Carolina. In school history, they won the game by 10, laying 2.5 points. On the flip side, for Cal, this is a 3:30 Eastern time kick, so it's not that big of a deal for them time-wise, but they're crossing into the Eastern time zone from the Western time zone where they blew a 25-point lead last time out, late night against Miami. Now they got to go all the way across the country to play a 5-0 Pitt team. The team is 3-0 at home and 3-0 ATS at home. Cal on the road, they beat Auburn. Hell of a win. But they're back on the East Coast again, catching 12, won by 7. Back at home, they beat San Diego State by 21, laying 18.5. The Florida game, Florida State was brutal, catching 2.5, lost by 5 on the road, and at home against Miami, they covered, but they lost. They were catching 10, and they lost by 1. Look, Pitt's got a great quarterback. They got a kid who can really spin it. They got a running attack that's going to be really tough. Why is this number only 3? I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but again, much like the BYU game, short favorite at home, 5-0 ATS, 5-0 straight up, following trends, bet it until it loses. BYU -3, Pitt -3. Both those bets come in at 1.1 units. And then finally, we're going to K-State in Colorado, late night, 10:15 Eastern time in Boulder, Colorado, for this Big 12 bash. K-State is 1-1 to the over so far this year on the road. Colorado is 2-0 to the over, and their last 2 games have gone over for Colorado in Kansas State. The last game for K-State at home against Oklahoma State, that also went over in a 42-20 win. It went over by 4 points with a total of 58. For Colorado against UCF on the road, total was 60.5, went over by 8.5 points. At home against Baylor, total was 52.5, went over by 16.5 points. Nebraska and Colorado State both went under on the road, but this is at home for Colorado. At home against North Dakota State, the game went over, 31-26. The victory went over by 2.5 points. 55.5 is the total here. Look, I think we're going to see a lot of offense. I don't think we're going to see much defense here. Colorado scores 31 points per game. K-State scores 29 points per game. The Buffs give up 22.3 points per game, and K-State gives up 23 points per game. They're very similar in the way that they play. Colorado gives up a lot of rushing yards. Colorado gives up a lot of passing yards. I mean, they're giving up per game 155.8 yards per rush on the ground. K-State runs the ball for 244.5 yards on the ground. We've got a passing attack that gives up 206 yards per game for Colorado. K-State throws 183 yards per game all through the air, and Colorado can flat out spin the rock like we know it. Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter, nearly 300 yards per game through the air for Colorado, up against a K-State pass defense that's not good. 280 yards per game given up, 7.9 yards per pass play given up. That is not good at all for Kansas State. I think you're going to see they give up 57% completion percentage. These are all numbers over the top 100 worst defenses in the country here for K-State. I think Colorado scores. I think Kansas State scores. We're going over 55.5 for Colorado State and Kansas State. 5 plays for us here officially. West Virginia plus 3.5. Bet money line as well. Stanford plus 23.5. BYU -3. Pitt -3. Kansas State, Colorado over 55.5 are the 5 official plays for us here today on a Saturday. If I go 5-0, I'm still down for the week. Go 5-0. At least we have a shot here of going into a Sunday of having a winning week. Even if we have a 4-1 day, win 3 units, we'll cut it in half. We have a shot on Sunday to have a big Sunday and come in and potentially get ourselves profitable for the week. But it's a big hill to climb. Not going to be easy. But I will give you my entire card later on today on our Discord channel. That chat happens at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific. If you're not in there, it's bettingpros.com/chat. It's free to join. Come on in. We have fun for 30 minutes breaking down games. I'll give you my entire card of picks and plays. There's a bunch of them going for today. Yeah, last week wasn't great. I've gone 8-3, 5-5-1, 7-2-1, and then last week I think I was flat. I think I was 6-1 or 5-1, somewhere in that range. So it's been good, flat, good, flat. I'm due for good. Let's hope so. I need it after last night. That was brutal. My name is Matt Peralt. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. It's the Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.